Intervention video. Year 4-5 using visual frames to improve children's confidence and ability to access the 2-3 mark inference questions. Why is literacy important? Providing every child with the skills they need to read and write well is a fundamental pillar of our education system. Developing strong literacy skills has a positive impact across the curriculum, and it's crucial in influencing the opportunities children and adults have available to them throughout their lifetime. So let's have a look at this targeted intervention. It's the impression, evidence, quote framework. So the purpose of this is to improve children's confidence and ability to access the 2-3 mark inference questions. The context behind this. I was having a conversation with a Year 6 teacher of 12 years, and she had noticed that questions at the end of Key Stage 2 SATs presented as longer response, in the form of speech bubbles and many lines to fill, are often left blank by low retaining pupils or filled with waffle or no evidence by high retaining pupils. So high retaining pupils need to be answering the majority of the questions to gain greater depth at the end of Key Stage 2. The low retaining pupils need at least to have an approach where they can gain 1 mark in the longer responses. And all children need the ability to have skills to read between the lines when they transition to secondary school. So this strategy is designed so that it can begin in lower Key Stage 2 and then can build in confidence each year. So we're testing this in the Year 4 and Year 5. And a big thank you to Staindrop Church of England Primary School in Durham for sharing the intervention and resources for the project. So this is a quote from the Year 6 teacher, Miss Davison. Over time, I've adapted and changed the P, which is the point, evidence, and explain approach, to give children a structure to answer these type of questions, allowing children of all abilities to access them. In weekly guided reading sessions, I've explicitly taught this written approach. Through whole class reading and through high quality English text, I model the approach verbally and encourage children to do the same. So the impression, evidence, quote if needed. So the example that she uses of the frame that with the children is based on historic Key Stage 2 SATs questions that look a bit like the ones below. It has the impression and evidence, and ask them to give 2 impressions using evidence from the text to support their answer. And you can see these are the 3 mark questions. So what the school have developed is a visual frame that they share with children to help structure responses. So this is the impression, which is 1 word, the because, which is the evidence, and then if needed, the quote, if it's needed for support. So this is a visual frame that's used in guided reading sessions to support students to be able to scaffold their learning and answering these types of questions. You'll see an example of this included in the resource folder. So this builds up a sentence structure approach where questions are presented slightly differently like the ones below. And you can see an example of children's responses will go from looking like this to this. This approach is to encourage children to be more concise with their written responses, eliminating the waffle, and ensuring they are hitting the criteria for multiple mark questions, whether this is to gain 1 mark or 3 marks in a question. Children will also develop the skills while using this frame below. They'll develop skills to skim and scan the text. They will text mark when reading to help them find quotes. And they'll become more confident at summarizing what they have read. So the next steps is to move on to the implementation overview video.